Showing you how to put together your GIF. Right now you are looking at my Photoshop, my opening window of Photoshop, and what I want to do is I am going to go to my Finder to open up some images that I already have. So I'm going to my downloads. Here are 6 images that I am going to highlight and drag to the Photoshop icon so I can open these up in Photoshop. Whenever you drag your images to that Photoshop icon on your laptop or your desktop, it will open up your images. So right now I have these 6 images opened up. You can see I have these 6 different tabs. You're going to have more, but right now there are my 6 images that I'm going to use. And what I want to do is I want to kind of start out with the object. I'm going to use circles. I think that was obvious as I was scrolling through my images. And I'm going to use this circle as a base. I'm picking the biggest one because what I want to do is I'm going to use this as my establishing image. So it's pretty simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the next image. I'm going to go to Command A, which is also edit, select all right? So then I am going to go to Command C, which is copy. So that was Command A first to select all, Command C to copy. And now I'm going to go to my original image and I'm going to go to Command V. All right. Now the circle doesn't line up. How am I going to get it lined up? So over here on my side panel with my layers, you can see that I have 2 layers established. So layer number 1 and my background layer. I'm going to unlock, double click on that background layer. I'm just going to go ahead and hit cancel, but I unlocked that layer. All right. Now layer number 1, what I'm going to do is highlight layer number 1. I'm going to bring and drag the opacity down, and look at that. Now I can see through the locker image to our peanut allergy image. And so now what I want to do is I'm going to go to Command T. Command T, when you drag the corners, will make your image bigger proportionally, all right? So you don't hold down on the Shift key. We used to hold down on the Shift key, but we don't do that anymore. We want to drag our image until that outside of the lock matches up with the outside of my red circle. So I'm going to have to kind of drag that around a little bit, make it bigger, move that into place, boom. Once it's looking pretty good and pretty close, I am going to double click on my image, and don't forget to bring back your opacity to 100%. So these eyeballs next to your layer basically show you what's visible on your layer, and you can see I can kind of go back and forth, and that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to hit this image, I'm going to X out of this image, and now I'm going to go to my next image. So again, Command A, Command C, come over to my original image, Command V, here is my 3rd layer. I am going to bring the opacity down. I am going to also, another thing I'm going to do, I'm going to reduce the size of my entire image here. So I'm going to my magnifying tool. Over here, I'm going to my minus. I'm going to reduce this down a little bit. And so now when I go back to layer number 1, I'm going to go to Command T. I don't have to hold down anything. I'm just going to grab the corner and I'm going to make that circle match up with that locker. All right, and again, once it looks pretty close, I'm going to double click. I am going to bring my opacity back. I am going to go, back and forth to check to make sure that it's lining up. And, at this point, do whatever you need to do to make these images look better. If I want to go into this image and I want to go up to my adjustments, so image adjustments and brightness contrast, go ahead and play around with some of those adjustments that you can make to make it look better. So here we got our 6 feet sticker. I'm done with that one. Going over here, let's mix it up and do my coffee cup here. So again, Command A, Command C, and then I am going to go back to my original image, Command V, to paste that. So Command V as in Victor or as in view. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce my opacity down. I'm going to go to Command T. I am going to bring that coffee cup up so that it matches up with my other circles. I am going to double click on that image. I am going to bring my opacity back up to 100%. And I think you get the idea. It's how easy this is to make sure that everything is lined up. All right. So now what I can do is I can add these two other images. Let's do it. Command A, Command C. I can come over here. I can go to Command V as in Victor. I am going to reduce my opacity down. I'm going to go to Command T. I'm going to bring that up so that I can get my circles to match my circles. You are hearing Miss Renner cutting paper in the background over here. It's a working atmosphere here we have. So I am now going to bring that opacity back up. All right. So now all my opacities are back up. I have, at least 5 layers here. So here's layer numbers, 0 through 4. And now what I want to do is I want to go to animate this. First things first, double check everything first. So you want to go through here. I can remove my eyeball there. That's looking good. Remove my eyeball there. That's looking good. Remove my eyeball there. And I'm looking good for my 5 layers. Now again, you can do 10 as a minimum, but you can do 20 layers of this. It's that easy to do. All right, so all this is getting us set up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change our workspace right here. So if you go over here, so look at where I am in the top left-hand corner. You should have a box where it says choose workspace. And now I'm going to go to motion. I was originally in photo. You should always start in photo. And then I'm going to switch it to motion. Now look at what happens down here. Now I have a timeline showing up. So first off, this little arrow, I could create a video timeline. Yes, in Photoshop, you can edit video as well. I'm not a video person, I'm a photo person, so I don't know much about the video editing, but I am going to create a frame animation. And so I'm clicking right here, and you can see my 4th layer, my top layer is showing up as part of my timeline, but I want all of these layers to show up. So right here on my timeline, see where my cursor is, I'm going to click here, and now I'm going to make frames from layers. So there are all of my layers that I just put in here, and right now this is timelined at 0 seconds. So if I want to click on layer number 1, hold down on the Shift key and click on my last layer, I can then highlight all those layers. I'm going to go to where it says 0 seconds. I'm going to change that to 0.5 or 0.2. Then what I will do is ignore that phone call right now because I'm right in the middle of a video here, and I'm going to set it, to forever. You can set it to loop, once, 3 times, or forever. I'm going to go forever. And now we can actually hit play and see what our GIF is going to look like. Once we looks good, everything is looking good here and everything. If you have to go back and re-edit is a little tricky, so you probably want to get out of this frame animation and motion mode and go back to photography to do any adjustments you have to do, and then go back into motion to actually set up your timeline. Once you have it here, you are not done. We need to save this as an actual GIF. So I am going to go up to File at the top. I am going to go to Export because this is going to be for the web. You can only view GIFs on the web. So I'm going to go to Save for Web. Now, my image is huge right now. A couple things within this Save, for Web, panel here. A couple things. Image size. Let's reduce this down. I usually make my GIFs around, 4 or 500 by, whatever the other dimension is. Go ahead and hit Return, or so that you can apply that. So you can see the image is much smaller now. All right. Next thing, up here, all right, the presets. Don't change any of this stuff, but you have it already saved as a GIF. So now when I go to hit Save, I am going to get a whole new creation of my GIF. All right, you can even see that it throws in the GIF in the background. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and title this one, don't get rid of that .gif. I'm going to go ahead and do circles. All right. And then I will go ahead and hit save, and it's saving my GIF. So right now, I still have this working, document where I could go ahead, and I can go back to, my work mode here. Here, let's go back. So I can't go back into my work mode. I thought we could. Here, let's get this back. So you can see that, if I, hit eyeballs and do certain things, certain things pop up kind of weird over here on our timeline. So you do want to make sure that you're not, here I am, where I can go back to photo. So now I can go back to photo. I can manipulate each one of these again, and then I can just click back here to go back to motion and then go through those steps again. Okay. So with all that being said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But that is the video for this.